Stop. Seriously, you have to stop this. I know that you would have heard the advice. Tell your dream to the world. Tell it to people. You'll find people who can help you achieve it. Law of attraction will work for you. Tell the universe what you want. Well, in this video, I am going to tell you why that is not the best approach. In fact, this is something that has been proven through studies. Okay? In fact, by the end of this video, you'll know one thing. That one thing is this: that you should stop telling your goals to people, because it can actually stop you from achieving your goal. So if you don't want to achieve your goal, then go ahead and tell your friends about it. Go tell every other person about it. But if you want to achieve, stick till the end of the video to know why you can actually achieve your goals if you stop telling it to people. Hello guys, this is Abhishek and welcome to Models of Excellence, where we teach you tools, strategies and techniques to help you lead an excellent life. Now, why am I telling you not to tell your goals to people? Right? Friends or your family, why you shouldn't tell? Alright, this is the first reason. So there was a 2009 study which took law students, okay, and it asked them a question. How many of you would be committed, how much are you committed to using the facilities given to you, opportunities given to you as from your academic point of view, from your college or something, as a student, as a law student? And people answered. Now the question I'm paraphrasing, it had a similar meaning. That is not the exact question. So people did, and they took people whose answer was high commitment, right? Who said they were a lot more committed. They took these people and they divided them into two groups. The first group of people, here's what they did with the first group. They took their answers and they acknowledged it. They read what their commitment was. They're like, yeah, really, this is what you wanted to do? That's good and all that. And then they kept them aside for the next round, okay? Then the second group, they knew that their answers would be anonymous. That means nobody would read their answers. Even though they were high in commitment, according to them, nobody really are going to read their answers. It's going to be very private. Now the time for the third round. Alright, here's what they did. They gave these law students cases to solve. Okay, these cases to work on for about 45 minutes or something. And here's what happened. The first group, which were acknowledged, which were whose answers were read out and were told, you know what, okay, this is how we are committed and all that, they spent a lot less time solving the case. The second group, whose answers according to them were anonymous, they spent a lot more on the case. And here's what the conclusion was. The study conclusion was this: that when you tell your goals to people, if that is very related to your identity and people compliment it, people acknowledged it, your motivation to accomplish that goal will actually decrease. So in simple terms, here's what it is. It's kind of like this, okay? If you tell your goals to your friends, here's what's going to happen. Let's say you tell your friends, you know what, I'm going to run a marathon. All your friends are like, that's awesome, go ahead with it. That's really, really cool, man. That's so cool. Wow, that's ambition. I'm inspired. And you are going to begin to feel good when they say that. You're like, wow, yeah, I feel good. Here's the problem. You have felt good without even accomplishing the goal. Right? You haven't even ran a marathon. What you would usually get after running a marathon, like if after you finish running, your friends would be at the finish line, they'll be like, wow, you finally did it. That's awesome. That's inspiring. You got that amount of emotional satisfaction even before you did the task. Now you don't have any motivation to finish the task. You already feel good about it, right? Now this is when your motivation begins to go low, decrease, because you don't have reason to finish. Now, if this is identity related, which means if accomplishing a goal is important to you, it's an identity statement. For identity statement, as in, look, if you don't achieve the goal, if you're like, you know what, if I don't do it, I'm a loser. If I don't do it, I suck. If I do it, I'm awesome. Me accomplishing that goal means that I'm awesome. That is identity statement, right? Achieving or failing in the task determines who you are, which most of us are connected that way. Most of us connect our identity to our goals. So when we do that, your motivation will fall. Okay, so don't do that. That is the first reason. Second reason is that people can break your belief. Now, when you're starting out, your belief is very, very important, right? When you start working out, you need to be motivated. You need to believe that you can make it. Otherwise, it becomes difficult. Now, do you know what is the best way to break a belief? The best way to break someone's belief is to show them the evidence that proves that their belief is wrong. Now, here's an example, right? Have you ever watched a TED Talk and you're like, yeah, I believed in something else. I never knew this was possible. Have you ever felt that? Because they structure message in a certain way that makes you believe that. Right? They show you evidence on why you could be wrong. Now, here's what will happen. When you tell someone something against their belief, one, they'll shut off. They'll completely ignore you. They'll get very, very defensive because they're scared that what they believe might be wrong. For a while, for maybe a long time, but sometime or the other, they'll realize that, okay, maybe what I believe is not true. Or for another person, they can completely be open to your evidence against their belief, and their belief system will crumble very quickly. When you're starting out, especially with your goals, you don't have much proof that you'll succeed. You don't know that you'll succeed. And then when people tell you against it, for example, if you tell I'm going to run a marathon, they're like, come on, bro. You told us before, you haven't done it. You know what? Why should you do it? For what? Bro, just chill, come just party and, stop going to marathon and all that. When they start telling things like this, some people will very quickly crumble. So if you're someone like that, do not share your goal. Even if you are, be careful with it. It's very easy to get demotivated. So that is the second reason why you should not share your goals with people. Third reason is accountability. I'll tell you what accountability partner is? Someone who will keep you accountable. Someone who will make sure that you do some work. For example, you can tell me, Abhishek, every day morning I want to wake up at 6 a.m. Can you make sure? And I can be accountable. I can get you to wake up at 6 a.m. Any strategy. Like I can come every morning, throw a bucket of water on your head, wake you up actually, give you a call, or take $1,000 from you and then tell you, I'll only return it to you if you wake up at 6 a.m. Now, initially, this is awesome, right? You feel good. You're like, yeah, I'm accountable. It's awesome. I'm waking up. I'm doing things. After some time, it starts to get annoying. Now, I've had accountability partners where I kept someone accountable. They kept me accountable. After a week, it got to a point where it's just annoying or just you don't like it. So most of the time, it ended up failing. Right? We never spoke about it. Whatever we failed in, whatever we were supposed to keep each other accountable, we ignored getting to that topic. We tried to skip the conversation. Now that is a small problem that might happen, right? That is very simplifying what might happen. Let's say you go to your friends and tell, I'm going to make $1 million in next 3 months. I know. And they'll keep you accountable. Here's what will happen. If you don't do it, it's very hard for you to show your face to them. You just don't want to meet them because you failed, right? They kept you accountable. They said I'll be there. They'll be there. They'll be checking in on you through your journey, and you failed, and it doesn't make you feel good. Once again, if you are someone of the mindset that I care what other people think of me, this is not good for you, which most of us are, even me, a lot of times. Right? Caring what people think is there. We are all conditioned to do it, especially in India. So when that happens, it's very difficult for you to go and meet. You'll end up spoiling the relationship or something. If you do that same thing in the workplace, it's bad for you. Right? Can you imagine not being able to talk to your boss about something? It just gets bad. Company culture will not be good. So that is the third reason why you should not tell your goals to other people. Now with that said, here's a warning. Here's the caution. Now when I say don't tell, I don't mean hide it completely. If there's an investor who wants to invest in a company, let's say you have a startup, you have to tell them your plan, you have to tell them your goal. If you don't tell them, they're not going to invest in it. So in certain cases, when it's necessary, share your goals. If sometimes you have to share your goal, just share it to a very light extent and then just move away from the conversation. Keep it private, work on it, achieve, and then tell if you want. After you achieve, you have all the bragging rights you want. So with that said, guys, that is the reason why you should not tell your goals to everyone. If you're someone who believes that you should tell your goals to the world, to the people, then drop in the comments below if this convinced you. Because it is something that's practical. I used to do it, now I don't. With that said, if you felt like you learned something new, something of value, then leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. This is Abhishek signing off. Goodbye.